Doesn't happen very often. Always good to see things that aren't going to happen again in your lifetime.
Well, we never get to see this again. It's just like a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
105 years. I don't plan to be around then. So.
No, exactly.
It's called the transit of Venus, when one of the brightest stars of the night is transformed into a tiny black dot floating over the sun.
Something tiny is coming in down the bottom.
Yeah.
We've seen it.
For millions of years, Venus has been passing between the Earth and the Sun. But since 1639 and the coming of the telescope, this is only the 7th time it's been recorded.
Do you see a big...
I see a big red thing and a big
Okay, big red thing. Okay. Now look around the edges of it.
A big little black dot.
Yeah, black dot.
Tiny.
Yeah? That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Venus is very tiny in comparison to the sun. The sun is huge. You saw it. You saw it.
Venus lies close to Earth and is fairly equal in size. But unlike the Earth, Venus takes only 7.5 months to orbit the Sun. A transit happens when, for that rare moment, they're all in a straight line. It happens in a pattern of pairs 8 years apart, and then takes more than a century to occur again. It's important scientifically because at the heart of astronomy is the need to measure distance. We can't understand objects if we don't know how far away they are. By measuring the movement of Venus across the Sun, astronomers could work out the distance from the Earth to the Sun and then explore the universe.
When you look in a telescope, you get a two-dimensional view of the sky. You don't have 3D glasses, you don't have any way of getting depth. To get the depth, the third dimension, you have to triangulate. But if you don't know the length of the triangle, the base of the triangle, you can't triangulate. And we didn't know the distance to the Sun, so we couldn't triangulate to anything beyond the Earth.
The transit of Venus probably yields little scientific value today because it's been accurately recorded for decades. The event is more historic than scientific. It's also a very Australian thing.
In Australia and New Zealand, we wouldn't speak English and play cricket if it weren't for the fact that Cook was sent to observe the transit of Venus in 1769, in fact from Tahiti. After they'd successfully observed the transit, he opened his sealed orders from the Admiralty in London, which instructed him to then search for the great southern continent, which was expected to exist.
Captain James Cook's expedition failed to get accurate measurements, but it did confirm that there can be huge returns from expensive scientific research, even if the original aim fails.
People really steady shot on this.
Today, the Melbourne Observatory was buzzing with enthusiasts, just like it was in the late 1800s, when scientists monitored another transit of Venus, using what is now perhaps the world's oldest still working astronomical camera in its original dome.
I think it's extraordinary that people are able to calculate so precisely where this body will be, where it will, to the fraction of a second when it will start passing in front of the Sun and pass across it.
If you were there, you'd see that angle.
Yes.
Astrophysicist Michael Drinkwater leads a team mapping the distribution of galaxies in the universe. He believes this is also a great time for Australian astronomy. Last year, an Australian was awarded the Nobel Prize for Physics for his work on dark energy and the accelerating expansion of the universe. And recently, Western Australia won the rights to part host the Square Kilometre Array, the world's largest and most sensitive radio telescope.
Each of these discoveries traces itself back to the distance measures in the universe that we can do because right at the beginning we measured the distance to the Sun with the transit of Venus.
There are rare moments when life and all its daily pressures just fall away. Today, perhaps, was such a day for many people around the world. A chance to look up and marvel.
That's it. Whoa, hey, that's the end of it. Fantastic, what a great transit. And the Sun did the right thing too.
I think it's a great thing that we can all gather out here and just focus on something that's so, I guess, universal and everybody can appreciate, the fact that there's something bigger than the Earth out there and that we're just a small part of the cosmos.